So just confirm me once it is visible to you or not.
Sure, Abhishek.
Yeah.
Yeah, Abhishek, I can view your screen.
Yeah. Done. Yeah. So the dignitaries and respected faculty members to write down the questions, and we can have a discussion session at the end of the thing. Then I'll take a 5 to 6 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes break, and then we will start the graph analytics, because graph analytics is a short session. So I would like to continue this as long as much I can, because this is interesting and this is a very research oriented session, the real time analytics, because it is totally based on real time implication and real time implementation. So let me start with the session, and I hope you will ask some question at the end of the thing, so we can have a very healthy discussion. So this is the first slide what we are having, and the slide is about what is real-time analytics. So uh, basically it refers to finding meaningful patterns. So why real-time analytics? Why not pattern recognition? The first question is, we may have a very good discussion on this thing also. Apart from that, finding meaningful pattern in data at actual time of receiving. We cannot miss the deadline. It shouldn't be like, it should be a non-terminating things like that. So that's why it is real-time analytics. Now the second part is real-time analytics platform, that Rtap. So it analyzes the data, it establishes correlation, and it predicts the outcome in real time. So as you can see over here, the main concept is, when we can emphasize on that is real time. Fine. Real time, everything isn't done in the time of receiving or real time, as you can see over there. Fine. So this is not have uh, we have everything on real time application little changed. Real time and pattern somehow interrelated with threaded connection. It's not the same, but somehow we are. So we will see how. First question that will keep into your mind, that will come into your mind, is what is real time big data analytics? We are here for big data, right? So what real time big data analytics, that is very much sure to get aware of, to get familiar of. So it's more than a technological buzzword. Fine, not like, it's not a buzz only. So real time big data analytics is a new technology for sure, and it is very much new actually. Fine, because previously it was done, but some real time application is not was actually mandatory at level, because there is much more competition. Fine. So a new technology which is at the same time redefining how IT organizations gather actionable business. Fine. Business intelligence is getting done work. So there are lots of branches. Fine. So to detect cybersecurity, we have discussed fraud detection or something like that. So as you can see in the slide, I'm I have just shown you data sources is there, real processing is there, action is there, notification is there, machine learning is there, statistical model is there. So machine learning is working on that statistical model, or with the help of machine learning, this statistical model can be developed. So these are interrelated things. Then there is real-time dashboard. So we will discuss each and every frame, that how the things are getting done, and how we are approaching the problem, how we are training our model to work like that, and how we are getting an efficient result from the, so every there only. Fine. So whether it is cybersecurity threat, whether it is business intelligence, fine. So measure of performance basically dependent on critical applications. Fine. Wave, cloud services, everything is there in the slide only. Fine. We are doing everything in the process. And it is not like a process that we are doing this is as the first thing, this is as the second thing. We need data sources. Data sources can be multiple. So we have collected all those data, we applied our actions, we have performed those actions. We have performed those actions in real time only. That's why it is real time and analytics. Then what algorithm we need to do? We have some learning algorithm, data mining algorithm. So we will do that, and perfectly we will get some statistical model so that we can get some predictions, we can have some classifications, we can have some pattern, some meaningful pattern out of it. That is the basic thing. So real time big analytics is a software feature. Basically, if somebody will ask you that what it is, just mean that what it is. So it is basically a software feature, or you can say that it is also a tool. It could be a feature, a software feature, it could be a tool that is capable of analyzing large volumes of incoming data. I have emphasized previously on large volumes of data. If it won't be a large volume, then the data mining is much more than capable. Fine. We need nothing apart from that data mining tools and techniques and all those things.
Uh, Abhishek sir, Abhishek sir, I think your network has been, your voice is not audible, Abhishek sir. Abhishek sir, can you hear me?
Am I audible now, sir?
Yes, sir. Now it's audible, sir.
Okay, I don't know what happened actually. I was
Yeah,
into it. Yeah.
we can
So
see your
I,
slide movement, everything, sir. Audio only
yeah, I was
independent.
doing it only, and I don't know where it was stuck in. Sorry,
Okay, sir.
so
No
much
problem.
sorry. I don't know what
Okay,
is
no problem,
happening.
sir. No problem.
Okay, sir.
Hi.
Okay, so I was actually basically explaining this slide, sir, and let me explain it again where I was stuck in. So basically, I was explaining that cloud infrastructure is very much applicable. Infrastructure is very much needed. So the concept is when I mean each application we are talking about, each application or server creates computer generated records that I have highlighted, data sources. Fine. And records of what? Records of all of its activities known as event logs. Fine. So your model should be trained like that to gather all those data from that different sources and to make it compatible to the platform you are using. So with the millions of new events logs, like I have already explained, I don't know it was audible at that time or not, that if we are having some less amount of data, we can do it manually also. We only need algorithm when we are having data in bulk, that we have gone through with when we have started reading algorithm during graduation time. So we are having bulk of data to handle, then only we need some efficient algorithm. Fine. And when we need some efficient algorithm, then we have to provide some specific results. We have to provide some specific pattern, which is very much, which should have some meaningful thing. I mean, it should not be data only now, it should be information. Fine. So that particular event log we are making, so with millions of new event logs now, millions of event log has been created every day. So organizations who are working on that, so organization basically depend on the real time big data analytics. That's why I have emphasized to explain big data analytics in real time. So what is difference between normal big data analytics and big data analytics in real time? That is the basic difference, that is to associated with some deadline. Fine. So to when we are associated with real time system, so to efficiently comb the data for relevant pattern and insight that drive responsive IT and business decision making, that is what business intelligence real time analytics is all about. Fine. So this is not limited to this only. Even if, suppose we are talking about machine learning, or we are talking about machine learning algorithm, which we are applying over it, and we are trying to get something out of it. So first of all, we need to take to better understand the meaning of real-time big data analytics. We have to break the part into two frames, like first one real time, the first one, and then the big data analytics is the second one. So we have to break the phrase. So first of all, let's go for I mean before getting into the use cases, let's go for that what is real time. So in a computing context, real-time data processing essentially means that we are performing an operation on data just millisecond after it becomes available. Now it is very much clear, fine, to you and me. So when it comes to monitoring your security posture, detecting threats, and initiating rapid responses, quarantine responses, you can say better. Fine. And a real-time response is necessary to mitigate kind of cyber attack before hackers can damage the system. Fault tolerance is there. How much your system is tolerating the fault, whether it is attack or whether it is self-occurring fault. That is the different scenario. So in today's cybersecurity environment, it is no longer effective to analyze event log after the fact to determine whether an attack occurred. Getting my point? So if it will be occurred and we are getting responded late, in that case, we are finished. The whole game is finished. So real-time big data analytics help organizations to basically mitigate attack as they happen by analyzing event log millisecond after they have created or they are created. That's, we can say, the real-time analytics. And now big data we have gone through with. So big data is being used everywhere now. It's a very familiar thing now. But what is the difference between data and big data? That's my question before only. And that's my question is now only. And that's my question when we will finish the fourth and fifth session. The same question will be there. When there is a concept of data mining there, why our university has imposed this big data thing over us? Just because we are having data in bulk or anything else you want to add? So throughout the digital age, we are in, the widespread use of software application such as resulted in the generation of massive amount of data. So again, we are into massive amount of data. Again, we are into amount of data. That's the whole scenario is. If you are explaining it or if you are differentiating it, again, the case is massive amount of data, bulk amount of data, bulky data. We are using the same algorithm, isn't it? So the storage of this data has been enabled by simultaneous evolution of what? Of increasing cost, of space efficient hardware, storage devices. Cloud storage is itself very, uh, expensive. So as the world leading data collectors and generated data sets that included many cases and high degrees of complexity. So just in order to reduce the complexity, we are trying to apply those algorithms right from data structure times. So what is new in big data? So it became clear that traditional data or conventional processes or traditional data processing application could no longer meet the requirement of these organizations. So it was not enough actually. If it was enough, then there is no need of this. So thankfully, increasing in computer processing power led to the development of predictive analytics, classification analytics. So predictive analytics software and other tools that could help these organizations, help in extracting the data, retrieval the information, so extract information and insight from their enormous data set, getting pattern from their enormous data set, getting some features from uh, the data which was having no meaning before. That's why they are data analytics, they are data scientists, because they are getting pattern from everything. So data warehouse is just like useless form, data which is having of no use, but they are taking it, they are gathering it from different sources and they are utilizing it in a same way. So any organization, any IT organization basically can leverage their big data through log management or event ops, security information event management tools that basically aggregate network applications, fine, into centralized normalized database. So if base is normalized and centralized, what could be happened and what could be the plus point and what could be the pros, we all know better, because we have been teaching distributed system, database management system, centralized database system, fine. Then there is a concept called analytics. We have been emphasizing on, we have been discussing on. So it is what? It is a tool, it is a technique, it is basically a capability. Analytics is basically the software capability that takes data input from various sources, multiple sources, searches it for pattern, fine. So every pattern recognition or pattern predictability or interpreting of pattern which ultimately communicates the result in human readable format, that is done under the terminology called analytics. So the question arises again, that what analytics based on, what analytics uses. So analytics software uses mathematics. Yes, it will use mathematics. It is used a statistics model. Yes, it is using a statistics model. It is using mathematics. That's why it is using machine learning also. Yes, it will be, using machine learning also. It will use probability concept. Yes, mathematics is there, then probability is there. And predictive model, machine learning models. Why we are using all these things? We are using all these things to find hidden relationships in the data sets, because it was too complex before, which is, varied, to be efficiently analyzed manually. So that's why I have taken the example of data structure. When we are about to sort 5 numbers or 10 numbers or 12 number or 15 numbers, we are able to sort it manually. Fine. But when the number of inputs increases, the complexity increases. So best analytic tool today combine, advanced technology like machine learning. It is shown on the screen. Pattern recognition, it is come under the same category, and other software feature to achieve a specified goals. So we are basically here for a specified goals. So in IT organization, analytics tools are used to review event logs. I'm again emphasizing on logs, and correlate event from across application to identify, the pattern, and respond to the security incidents. So basically, it is done for the security incidents too. That is not out of question. So now, basically, what is use cases? What is benefits of real-time big data analytics? Why we are using this? So this is a very good question, that why we are doing this. Are we wasting our time over this, or it is needed, or we are just doing it for formality, for the sake of teaching to the students? So if we are talking about what is the benefit, we can say that, now we have fleshed out the details. Fine. We have gone through with the basics. Fine. So it should be clear, like real-time big data analytics is helpful in business intelligence, business insight process. So of all the sizes, gather valuable intelligence by, leveraging insight from the massive volume of data more quickly than ever before. Comparatively, why shouldn't we compare it to make it more visible? Fine. So these are the things which were in the mind of the organization, that how we should deal with this, and that's why they have preferred this big data analytics in real time system for sure. Fine. So this particular real-time big data analytics, this technology is most often deployed by IT organization. That's why I'm saying it again and again, in an industry that produce, or that is capable of handling large amount of data over the short time period. Logistics, banking, IT. For example, here are 3 ways of IT organization can benefit from the real-time big data analytics. So empowering the IT operation with rapid monitoring and troubleshooting, the first one. So it could be come under the category of anything. Here looks at, some use cases in real-time data analytics section, that marketing campaigning. Fine. Then there is financial trading. Then there is financial operations. There is a threaded line difference, but we are doing the same thing. So when something like that, marketing campaigning is getting done, financial trading is getting done. So they are basically recognizing the client pattern, target pattern, how they are behaving to the product, how they are behaving to the new launches, how they are behaving. So they are having everything there, because that's why we have taken a very classical example of Twitter and everything. Many PhD are getting done in Twitter data analysis and all. Fine. So we can say that, three ways, basically, what I think. We can go through with first of all, we have to empowering the IT operations, which we are doing, and rapid monitoring and troubleshooting, which is need to be done. Then IT security can also be enhanced with rapid incident response capability. Even if it is not responding like in a real time, there is no point of using this. It is a wastage of time. So I'm explaining it why. I mean, IT security analysts work in the security question center. Fine. So they are accountable for maintaining the IT organization security, IT organization posture, and guarding against cyber attacks. So in today's IT scenario or security environment, analysts basically rely on real-time data and analytics to sift through the millions of aggregated log files. Whether it is log files, whether it is event logs, that is not a question. So from the cross the network and detect the sign of network intrusion, then only we can say that this is some enhancement has been performed. The second case or the next case could be like collect the data or collect and manage those data to drive business decision making. So again, we are going with the concept of decision tree. So if it is decision tree, that why we are doing this in such a way, because if we are getting at some decision by using business data intelligence, even if you will go through with business intelligence, you will have those algorithm only which you have used previously in data mining, most probability. Fine. So the impact of real-time big data analytics goes beyond monitoring and securing IT infrastructure. Getting my point? So this technology can, used to gather application uses data and access the performance of deployed service in the cloud. Fine. So organization can analyze that application better performance wise. And the second thing, it could be that leveraging real-time big data analytics in our IT organization, if we are working in somebody with some logics. So the use cases is totally based on data mining. The use cases is totally based on business intelligence. The use case is totally based on big data analytics. But the only difference is which big data analytics is making. It is handling incoming bulky amount of data, massive amount of data. And that is what it is, its performance and its efficiency is all about. So even if we are not using bulky amount of data and we are applying deep learning over it, and we are applying big data analytics over it, we are wasting our time and we are somehow diminishing the efficiency of those algorithms, which should be applied on some bigger data sets than what we are using. Now, the biggest revolution I have ever come across, I have seen, and we all have seen our with the naked eyes. I mean, the contribution of big data and analytics in success of Netflix. Fine. So, real-time big data analytics means that big data is processed as it arrives, and either a business user gets consumable insights without exceeding time period. So time period is very much important. Time period is very much important. So the Netflix user case is, I guess for me, this is my personal thing. So I think Netflix case is very much bigger example as far as Twitter example is concerned. So Twitter is okay. I'm okay with it. But Netflix is, exceptional, phenomenal example we are having. Fine. So if we can say that real-time data analytics in a competitive example. So for example, let's suppose before getting into Netflix use cases, let's say you are a fashion retailer. Fine. And who would like to top-notch customer service? First question is that. So analyzing big data in real time can help bringing great initiatives into life. For example, once a customer is passing by a retailer shop, they get a push notification on their smartphones that I mean like serves to incentivize them to enter. Usually it's a personalized promo, but these kind of things are getting done. I mean, the staff gets a notification in their mobile apps. Fine. This makes them aware of the customer latest purchases. We all do it in e-commerce things and everything. So overall style preferences, interest in promotions, uh, a typical spend, fine, etc, etc. So it's look like to win-win situation for both customer and retailer, doesn't it? So why we should go for those big bull like Netflix? We can take any example and we can get everything done from there only, and we can understand everything done from there only. So any e-commerce retailer can also achieve better performance by analyzing big data in real time. So that's how important big data in real time is. For example, again, they can reduce the number of abandoned carts. Getting my point? Say a customer has gone that far, but for some reason they have decided not to finalize the purchase. Fine. So still there are good chances to incentivize them to change their mind. So the system is turning somehow to the customer profile data as well as purchasing and surfing history to compare the consumer behavior. And I'm not telling this like this is very new. This is what we have done for years now. I'm just telling you this to get the basics so that we can understand the basics. Fine. So not only in case of Netflix, we can take many examples. I mean, the system is turning into customers profile data. Basically, that's what I try to convey to you. So based on the analysis result, the system chooses the most suitable of all possible action based on different attributes you are making the profile. For example, you have to offer a discount. You are having everything to offer those discounts. Fine. So basically, let's come to the slide that what is Netflix and what it is doing. So can you guess the total subscriber of the Netflix now, right from 2011 to 2020? And it is totally big data concept. This is a totally big data company. This is totally a big data revolution. What Netflix is showing you. Let's have this data into your mind. And up to until December 2020, Netflix subscriber amounted at whopping 203 million. And this is an excellent milestone for Netflix as it has crossed 200 million mark for the first time. And this is the graph we are having. Fine, this is the graph we are having. So my question to you is, what is Netflix and what do they do? What is Netflix? So the real time example can make the things much more clear to you. So Netflix is a media. Netflix is nothing, it's a media actually. Fine. This is a content mining done, taken from there. So average importance out of 5, no ads, can choose content, can binge a watch, like the shows. These all are attributes. These all not are the reasons when you are analyzing it. Like the movies, curation, family likes it, children content is there or not, whether it is 18 plus content. So there are many things. So basically, my question to you that what is Netflix? We all know that it is a media service provider that is based out of America. It was a fail. It was a complete fail when it was launched. So it provides movie streaming through subscription model. Fine. So it was not done before, according to you. ESPN, Star Sports, these all are doing the same thing before also. But it includes television shows and in-house produced content along with movies. So initially, Netflix used to sell DVDs and functioned as a rental service by mail. So they have discontinued selling basically a DVD a year later, but continued their rental service. But in 2010, as you can see the graph also, in 2010 it was initiated. So they went online and started a streaming service. First time in 2010. Fine. So Netflix has taken up the active role in producing movies and TV shows basically. So they were having it right from the beginning. So what is the domain subject matter area of their study? That is the main concept we have to follow, or we have to give the technicalities into it. So the basically the primary asset of Netflix is their technology, especially their recommendation system. Now there is a concept of recommender system, which is a very again a very good research topic. Fine. So the study of the recommendation system is a branch basically of information filtering system. So we have gone through with filtering and streaming in the previous session. Fine. So recommender system is now very much, I mean, very familiar name in 2020, 2021. Fine. So information filtering system deals with removing unnecessary information. Filtering, sampling, these all are meant for removing unnecessary information from the data. So before it reaches human. So that's how data model is getting to work. So recommendation system deals with recommending products or assigning a rating to the item. So they are mostly used to generate playlist kind of thing. Companies like I can give you example, companies like YouTube, Spotify, Netflix itself, Amazon, they all are using a recommender system to recommend products to its user. So most of the recommender system study user by using their history data, past data. So recommender system have two primary approaches. What Netflix has taken, they are collaborative filtering or content filtering. And collaborative filtering relies on the concept that people who liked something in the past would also like the same experience in the future also. So we are not sure of they would have same experience in the future, but we can rely on the past data to predict this for the further cases. When we are talking about content based filtering, these methods are useful in places where information is known about the item but not about the user. Getting my point? Information was there for the item but not about the user. So basically it functions as a classification task specific to the user. It models a classifier. Recommended system is itself a classifier model to model the likes and dislikes of the user concerning the characteristics of the item. That's why the graph is going that high, and these are the attributes they have worked on. That is content mining. That is, we are having content mining. Fine. Now the question arises, why did they need to do big data project? Why Netflix, I mean, basically wanted to perform big data projects, and why they are doing this and how it was helpful. The figure itself will tell you all the story that how it was helpful, but how and why. So Netflix model has changed the selling DVDs to global streaming in a year. Fine. So unlike cable TV, internet TV is all about choice. So Netflix wanted to help viewers by choosing among numerous options. Getting my point? So the recommendation problem while selling DVD was predicting the number of stars a user would give to the DVD. That ranges from 1 star to 5 star, which is still very much applicable now on the product we are purchasing it from. So there was only a task they concentrated heavily upon, that was only thing that they would receive from the member who has already watched the video. So they would not have any idea about the viewing experience who has not viewed it. So statistics, and to get on the feedback during the viewing. So when Netflix turn into, streaming services, they have huge access to activity data of its member. Fine. So this includes their detail associated with the device. For example, just before getting into Bebex, fine, I have to submit all my credential like my email ID or my name or everything. And now when we will finish it off, they will ask me for feedback that how was the call done? How was the call processed? Fine. So, I mean, people of subscribing, as the number of people subscribing and watching Netflix grew, the task become big data project. As the number grew, the task become big data project. That's my definition of big data is that when the data is in bulk, when the data is in, immense amount, fine. So, however, a broad range of item is available on the catalog of internet TV with pieces of some different genres from different demographics also to appeal the people for of different taste. But Netflix is giving a different options, which is in itself very new at that point of time. So what questions did they want to answer? If we are asking about Netflix, what question they want to answer to achieve this kind of data? December 20 till December 20, just look at the data and look at the money they have made. So Netflix is all about recommending the next content to its user. The only question they would like to answer is how to personalize Netflix as much as possible to the user. That's the only goal. Netflix as much as possible to the user. Netflix as much as possible to the user. This is the single goal. So though it is a single question, it is almost everything Netflix aim to solve. Recommendation is embedded in every part of the site. As you will go through with it, this is a very classical example of big data analytics. Fine. So basically, Netflix conceptualize similarity in broad sense, such as similarity between movies, similarity between members, similarity between genres. It uses phrases such as similar titles to watch instantly, more like uh, etc. Search is also one of the important aspect of Netflix recommendation system. It is one of the best search we are having in today's technological world. So they uses phrase like based on your interest, your test preferences created this row. Similarity is another part of personalization. So this kind of thing is there. Now the question is, data sources. So according to Netflix technology, what Netflix technology blog was written in 2017, the data sources for recommendation system of Netflix are a set of several billion ratings from its member. They uses a popularity metric in many aspects to compute them differently. For example, they compute it hourly, daily, weekly, or monthly basis, most probably in hourly or daily basis. So they also examine cluster constituting members either geographically or by using other similarity metrics. Getting my point? Stream related data such as duration of time of playing, type of devices the user is using, the pattern and the titles of their subscriber. So there are many things they are considering. So all the metadata related to their title in their catalog, such as director, actor, uh, ratings by the reviewers, these all are considered. So this is not a very simple game uh, we can think of. This is a very great game to go ahead with. Fine. So now there is a concept called Rtap. Fine. So we will see it once we will finish it off. Rtap. What is Rtap? Why we are using this? Fine. So basically, Rtap manages and processes data uh, time for data and the things for timely decision making. So again, timing is there. Fine. So timely is there. If there is a timely thing associated with the thing, then you can have these all kind of thing, that why we are using it, how we are using it, how we will make decision making efficiently. So basically, RTAP helps to develop dynamic analysis application. So what is dynamic analysis? Which is performed in a real-time system. Fine. Which is performed in a real-time system. Not to worry. So leads to the evolution of business intelligence. It always leads to the evolution of business intelligence. And why we are doing business intelligence? Business intelligence was there also when we are doing data mining. Fine, it is not like it was not there, it was very much there. But nowadays when data is getting bulky, then only we have used it. So widely used RTAPs. Fine. So we have discussed about recommendation system, we have discussed about prediction analysis, we have discussed about uh, machine learning concepts. Fine. So Apache Spark streaming, I have explained in the previous session, that a big data platform for data stream analytics in real time. Cisco Connect. We are using Cisco platform only, web Cisco. So Cisco Connected Streaming Analytics, CSA. So a platform that delivers insight from high velocity stream of live data from multiple sources. Fine, and enables immediate action. So what basically we are doing a kind of sentiment analysis, which we have done before also. Is it? Are we doing that? Then we are having Oracle Stream Analytics, RTAP. Fine. SQL Stream Blaze. So there are lots of things here, widely used RTAP. So why we are using RTAP application? A very basic example, security purpose, security information management. We have gone through with how we will perform fraud detection system for online transaction by using sentiment analysis, by using NLP. How we are performing log analysis for understanding usage pattern. How we are performing click analysis for online recommendation. How we are performing social media analytics, which is again a very great money making process. So in natural language, the given text can be classified into two classes, objective and subjective. Getting my point? So when it is only two classes or two class problem or n class problem, again we are here for sentiment analysis. So subjectively refers to the aspect of language used to express opinion, evolutions. So you must have heard about opinion mining, fine, and speculations. Whereas objectively instead involving facts and concrete bits or information, fine, it is a different game together. So sentiment analysis, also known as opinion mining, I'm telling you. So this kind of thing, when we are performing opinion mining, we are doing sentiment analysis. So opinion mining, in the case like fraud detection system for online transaction, it is a process of classifying the subjective pace of the text as positive, negative, or natural. We done in Vika tool also. Vika tool is having deep learning module also now, but it is just a simulator. So we should go for Hadoop, or we should go for MapReduce, Hive. We should go for Rapid Miner. Fine, on coding context based. Fine. So existing sentiment analysis approaches classify subjective text according to the type of the input, or three levels. The first one is document level, the second is sentence level, and the third is phrasal level. Even if we are performing the second part, that log analysis of understanding usage pattern, so we are performing pattern. So the problem is, when we are doing this, that it classify the part of sentence, or it classify the part of pattern in a log in the event logs. We are having a huge number of event logs. The problem basically is when we are performing click analysis also, the problem is striking. So while the iron is hot, cross selling, where an additional product or service is sold to the existing customer, is detailed in which requires advertising, fine, precising product, precising the number of clients. So cross selling can be bring in huge revenue, and the strategy is very much effective when the existing customer has positive sentiment. So what is now this positive sentiment? If we are talking about this positive sentiment, so what is this positive sentiment is? So positive sentiment toward the owned product, increasing return or on the investment they have made. Fine. So at the same time, for every brand, it is necessary to tackle the issues raised by the unsatisfied customer. Fine. That's what Twitter, that's what basically Netflix has done, not Twitter. So attaining social network source real-time big data for analysis is not easy, as most sites lack public application programming interface, that is called API. Fine. So for a third party to access with Twitter, this time we are taking example of Twitter, is being an exception that cannot be considered as classical example. So according to internet statistics, more than 6,000 or around 6,500 tweets are posted per second, which is a huge enough in terms of volume and velocity to be handled by traditional or conventional data analytics system. Hence, we need, or hence there is a necessity of big data analytics or big data processing system. Getting my point? Now, second thing, suppose we are click analysis for online recommendations and social media analytics. It is so called very much easy, but it is not that easy also. So selecting associated recommendation product, if we are talking about recommendation. So in market basket analysis, we gone through with in our data mining time. So there was market basket analysis. It was very much efficient. So basically what happened at that time? So customer transaction are analyzed to recognize their purchasing pattern. That was happened. So association rule learning is a method to identify these relations among the variables in a data set. Fine. So basically which was, which can be used to find related products in customer transaction, leading to effective marketing decision. So actually these kind of customer behaviors tends the I mean uh, product makers to get at some decision, whether it is for discount, whether it is for price hike, whether it is for anything else. Even if we are talking about social media analytics, the same thing will happen, nothing new. So by association analysis only for the product X, for suppose we are taking a product X, so I mean uh, associated product Y can be identified, which is bought together with that X point part. Fine. So after buying product X, this particular recommendation system identifies product to be recommended based on consumer past purchases. It was very much clear in the association rule also. Fine. So many work has been carried out in association analysis and recommendation system. Included that this kind of thing, the social media analytics and this kind of thing, those are the basis for this. Fine. So Twitter streaming data can be the other cases. So before getting into Twitter streaming data, we need to follow that these things should be done and things should not be missed. So I hope it is clear till this point of time. So again, the Rtap application, so push notification to the customer for location based advertisement retail, what we have explained in Netflix case study also. Then there is action for emergency services such as fires, accident in an industry. Then there is an abnormal measurement required immediate reaction in healthcare monitoring. So whether it is healthcare monitoring, whether it is any kind of thing, so real time analytics is very much needed. And why real time analytics is needed? Due to competency, due to uh, technology upgrade, and due to many rivals in the same domain, and they are performing better than anyone else. So basically what sentiment analysis is, how sentiment analysis is consistently monitoring Twitter, Facebook, emails, customer service, tickets, etc. So we have discussed it over also, that how sentiment analysis is getting worked. Now, what are the benefits of those sentiment analysis? So marketing campaign success analysis, prevention of business disaster, this can be done. Risk factor, I have told you that risk factor is there, so we can avoid that. Fine, we can avoid that. We can having better understanding of anything what you want to have. Fine. So before getting into it, I just want to clear these things to you, that why we are performing this kind of operations. Just because we are having bulky data, that's the whole scenario. Is if we don't have bulky data, there is no point for getting into domain of big data. Even data mining was okay, and data mining with machine learning is much more efficient if data is limited to certain amount. Fine. But if it is a stock market prediction, data mining was doing that, but it was not doing that efficiently that big data is doing. We will see how a stock market is getting done. Instant product feedback, data mining was doing that, but it was not getting done that efficiently that it is done now. So this is how real-time sentiment analysis is getting done. So there is a, deadline associated with it. There is a soft deadline on, hard real-time system is there. So positive sentiments, negative sentiments, sentiment analysis feature like negation, positive smiley, negative smiley. Fine. So these kind of things are there when we are performing sentiment analysis. Fine. And I have also explained the problems associated with it. Fine. So how to perform sentiment analysis in real time? That is a very good question. First of all, we have to set our goals. Second of the point is gather all the data. The third point should be what should be the data model we have to go further with. Any kind of data model we have to go further with, we have to clean those data. We have to sampling those data. We have to quantize those data. Take whatever you need to and remove everything which is termed as noise. So anything other than intended value, what we are intending to have is noise. Fine. Then the third thing is analyze and visualize sentiments in real time. Now here the point is, how it is getting done in real time. Then how you will act on your results. So there are lots of things. So whenever you are supposed to clean your data, so website like social media, email data often have a quite bit of noise. Agree with me? So this can be repetitive text. This could be a banner ad also. So non-text symbol like emojis, email signatures, etc, that they can be removed. So you need to first remove the unnecessary data or it will skew your result for sure. That is what sampling is all about. So you can run spell check or scan documents for the URL and the symbols, but you are much better off automating this process, especially for acquiring or for accurate real-time analytics, because time is of the essence, uh, that the manual thing cannot be preferable in that case. Fine. So there are lots of tool which is used in the opinion extractor or something like that. There are lots of tool. So it breaks up the sentence basically when you are performing sentiment analysis or entire pages of text into individual sentiments or thought called opinion units. Now you can ask me that what is opinion unit, sir? So opinion unit is just like the smallest unit of our body was cell. So opinion mining, when we are performing, the smallest unit is opinion unit. Fine. So when we are breaking up the sentence and the entire pages of the text into individual sentiments or thoughts, that particular individual sentiments or thought is called opinion units. So it can break down 100 pages and thousands of opinion units automatically to prepare your data for the analytics. Fine. Then whenever you have done the preparation of your data, or whenever you have performed visual, analysis of data, then to visualize sentiments in real time is very much important. This should be one of the steps. So I have one example in my mind, that is the name, the Monkey Learn Studio is all in one real-time sentiment analysis and visualization tool. Monkey Learn Studio. Fine. So how it is getting work? So what you have to do, you have to choose a business template. You have to import a data into it. You have to run your analysis, and you have to visualize your data. So after a simple setup, you just upload your data and visualize the results for powerful insight. That can be done. Fine. So Monkey Learn Studio basically allows you to chain together. It is Monkey Learn Studio. So chain together a number of text analysis techniques, like suppose you have to perform keyword extraction. Suppose you have to perform aspect classification. So in that case, what you will do? So you have to perform intent classification. Fine. And you have to perform it in real-time sentiment analysis for super fine grained result. So if you basically want to learn how to build custom sentiment analysis model into your specific criteria, then we should go for Monkey Learn Studio. We should use it. And it could be done in a few steps. So you can choose existing template or something like that. So basically what we need to do, we need to upload the data. We can upload data, cleaned data or clean text from CSV or Excel file. Fine. And then we can go for the things which needs to be done. And we have to run the analysis. Fine. The model automatically tags the statement for sentiments, category, and intent, all working simultaneously. So everything is working simultaneously, not to worry. So when we are talking about real-time sentiment analysis, these things should be there. Fine. So we should act on our results. So the results are, if we are performed sentiment analysis, fine, we have to release new product. So we can perform real-time aspect based sentiment analysis on Twitter, which is I'm going to mention with you. Fine. So on Twitter, mention of your product, for example, to find out what aspects your customer are responding to the most favorable and unfavorable things. So with the help of Monkey Learn Studio, you can do that. That is a different case. But when we are supposed to go through with Twitter cases, let's have the data. Let's have the thing that how we should do that. So when we are talking about sentiment analysis, it is very much conventional to go for Twitter streaming data. So we are having cases that what tools need to be applied and what tools need to be done, and we do have some examples. Fine. So Twitter, the prevalent microblogging site, basically with 320 million, I mean around at most 320 million monthly active accounts as per company statistics, what is available on internet. So it allow user to send at least 140 characters limited message termed tweets, visible to all. So one can also send a direct message which is visible only to the intended user. Fine. So in this scenario, Twitter global stream of data can be accessed with the aid of Twitter streaming application interface. So for this real-time access to the tweet, a persistent HTTP connection, hypertext transfer protocol connection, is required to be open. An application intended to use Twitter API needs to obtain, I mean, access token on behalf of the Twitter account. Fine. So authorized request to the Twitter streaming application interface can be issued by application making use of access token. So this is what basically I'm trying to convey, that how we are accessing it, what features they are providing to us, and how we are, making these things applicable. So once the connection is established, a Spark streaming built on the top of the Spark. Fine. I am not a very frequent user of the thing, but I have used it. I have done a paper on Twitter tweets. Just now it was published. So that's why I have gone through with the previous papers and data sets and how it is working. So a Spark streaming built on the top of the Spark, fine, take care of the reception of the real-time tweets. Basically, these things are happen, which then processed and and then verified and then processed in public. So now if we are talking about tools, so Apache Spark and a Spark streaming library. Fine. These two tools, I mean Apache Spark and Spark streaming libraries, I am sure that they are using. Since traditional data processing system have a scalability issue. So what is getting done? They are not equipped to handle streaming data of immense volume. So a scalable big data processing system is preferred for this application. So there is a question I have encountered. Let me check with the chat box. How to deploy big data solution?
Yeah. There was a small how to deploy a big data solution.
How to deploy big data solution in which frame, sir? In any frame? Am I audible to you?
Yeah, yeah, audible, sir.
Okay. So in which
In
context you are
general,
asking?
they are since I think you have we are speaking about the applications now. So that
Exactly,
in that
exactly.
way they are asking. I think, for example, sentimental
Sir,
analysis.
sir, sir, sir. First of all, we have to go through with that. I have just explained. 10 minutes before that how we have to process those data. First of all,
Okay, sir.
fine. So we are having data sources. One who have asked, please let me know if it is satisfying your query. So first we have to go with the processes, data processing. Fine. And then we have to go for integration and data storage. Then we have to model our data, and we have to model or train our model and analytics, and then we have to go for visualization and reporting. But these are only steps we have to use for deploying the big data solution. Getting my point? These are the basically steps. So these are actually, it can be done in MapReduce or Spark framework, but these are the 4 or 5 steps that we should need to follow. Fine. That, for example, suppose we have to perform data storage first. If we are talking about to deploy the solution, we have to go for data storage first to load or store the data. Fine. Then we have to perform data ingestion. Fine, sir. So now what is data ingestion? The process of collecting and streaming. Again, we are doing the same thing. What I have explained to you, that we are taking and storing the data. Then we are performing data processing like data sources, integration of data and storage. Then we are modeling our data and analytics in real time system only. If we are training our model to perform in the real time system only, then the visualization and reporting will be done in a very good manner. Getting my point? So that's how we can deploy. These are the basic and conventional step to deploy the big data solution. But you can use something else. But basically conventional method is this only, that you should use it, because we are handling huge data. So structured those will be structured also and unstructured also. Fine. So analysis is done around from variety range of field. Fine. So if we are performing these four steps, we will get, definitely we will deploy a big data solution in a very efficient manner. So is it satisfying to you, or anything else you want to convey? Just let me know, and I'll share it with you. I'm happy to assist you.
I
Okay.
think, yeah, that's what they are
Yeah.
also meaning since.
Yeah. So any other question? Please free to ask any other question you are having.
Faculty members, you can unmute also.
You just type it on the screen. I'll get it from here. So any other question you want to ask? I want to ask you one thing. Any faculty, big data or data analytics? If big data, sir, if big data is used with analytics or real-time scenario, then big data analytics is better. I mean, only big data is just like a body without soul, according to me.
Yes, yes, I got it. I hope there are only few or data, big data analytics handling stuff, research oriented. Mostly
Mm-hmm.
faculties will be of just subject oriented handling persons.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to say, sir. I have just given a lecture
Yeah, yeah.
I have just finished a lecture, a whole semester for business intelligence,
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
this was the very first time I did that,
Okay.
and it was totally data mining only.
Yeah.
Just we have to make the application in a real time scenario. That is only business intelligence is. Otherwise, it is totally data
Data
mining. If
mining.
you agree
Okay.
with me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So application part is very much important. So if you will ask me, suppose why big data or why big data analytics? So big data refers to any large or any complex collection of data. It means nothing. And analytics is always better because it is a process of extracting meaningful information. So even though if we are not analytics, or we are not providing, or we are not amplify analytics over any data, then what is the point of getting big data? I mean, there is no point of using big data. So big data is, I mean, just a collection of data for me. And data analytics is something to get something meaningful out of it, or predict something, or classify something, applying probabilistic or randomized algorithm over it. So these are the things we should keep in our minds.
Yeah, we can say that data analytics provide us the solution for what we are actually searching for.
Yeah, if we are looking for some stronger expertise or implementing something, or we have to get some prediction analysis, if we have to get some pattern analysis, then we have to go for data analytics part, sir. Because big data is only, I mean, collecting those data from different sources. So it become competent when processing of data, using whether you are using R, whether you are using Tabelu, whether you are using Hadoop, whether you are using Weka tool. So that is not mattering. That is all under the category of analytics. So if we are not performing analytics, it is just like useless thing to us. I mean,
Yeah,
we are just
simply a storing file. That's all.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like a data warehouse for us, sir.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Any other questions?
You can ask any question if you are having regarding that Twitter and Netflix case studies also. They are very much okay. If any PhD scholar is there, I guess if one is faculty, then there is no point. But if any PhD scholar
Any
is there,
research oriented scenario is
yeah,
there in these areas. There are many research works has been already going on.
yeah. Sir, actually, what happened now when we are doing some deep learning concept, and when we are doing any big data work in our thesis work or in our research work, so basically we are only analyzing it by collecting data from different sources, or we are taking the real time data to make our work more content. But it is not like that. We should propose some algorithm out of it. I am telling this in all my lectures, that we
Yeah,
should
yes, sir,
propose
yes,
some
sir,
our
yes.
own algorithm. We should give some hybrid concept out of it. We have not to rely on the on the hybrid data sets. We are mixing data sets, or suppose we are taking some data sets we have got from AIMS, or we have
Hmm.
got from any good hospital in Chennai or in some part of India. So that is not a compatible research work for a person who is doing PhD or MTech. So database reliability is a different thing, and to provide analytics using your own algorithm or using some hybrid algorithm is a different thing. That's why I have always emphasized on proposing some algorithm, whether it is hybrid, whether it is 1 point or 2 point changes in the conventional approach, that is okay to me. But we should apply something our own to make the work much more content.
Yeah. Yeah, sure, sir, sure.
Yeah. So
Uh,
any question regarding that also is most welcome.
I hope till now no, sir, but let's give some time for
Yeah,
sir.
not an
Yes,
issue, not
yeah,
an issue, not an issue. So should I continue with that, or we need
yeah.
some break?
If we want break, we can take break for 10 minutes, Abhishek.
No, I can continue with with finishing part of Twitter, then I can take break, sir. Not an issue.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So
Okay,
I'll just take 5 to 10 more minutes,
yeah,
because graph part is very much less, but we could have question in that session. That is for fine.
okay, sir, okay.
Okay. So, I was on that data processing engine we have used in Twitter. Fine. So, what is a Spark basically? When we are talking about a Spark, so it is an open source, computing engine, which meant
Abhishek,
for
sorry
distributing
for
data
interrupting.
processing.
Abhishek,
Yeah,
sorry
yeah,
for
yeah.
interrupting. A screen is not visible, Abhishek.
Screen is not visible.
Yeah, Chandan.
Let me check. I'm stop sharing and I'm sharing it again now.
Okay, Abhishek.
Yeah, it is visible, sir.
Yeah, now only it's sharing.
So
Yeah, it's visible.
basically,
Yeah, visible,
yeah,
visible.
yeah. So basically, we are at sentiment analysis, like Twitter. What Twitter is doing, we are supposed to do the case study of that. So first one was, I just want to recall it, that Twitter streaming data was the first case study I have made for you, that we can have a very good discussion over it. And second case study is product sentiment analysis. So we are at the first one only, Twitter streaming data. So what it is, Twitter streaming data. So we are using tools like Apache Spark, and we are having some Hadoop, the first generation big data processing engine, is slowly being replaced by Spark. Now getting my point? Previously it was Hadoop, and now Spark is getting it replaced due to some certain features, which is considered as second generation big data processing engine. Fine. So it was tagged by certain scientists, or certain computer renowned scientists or researchers. But the thing is, Hadoop is very much used still. Fine. So when application runs in the main function, the perform parallel operation on various worker nodes in a Spark cluster. That's what make it multiple or multitasking thing at the same time. So resilient distributed data set. This is the term used by Spark. when Twitter is concerned. So though Spark is mainly a batch processing engine, Spark ecosystem is equipped with Spark streaming that is destined for streaming data processing. Fine. So Spark streaming is very much natural to a Spark tool, and it is destined for streaming data processing. So in Spark streaming, continuous stream of data is represented by d discrete stream. Fine, means data are independent from each other like that, which we have uh, discussed in streaming of data. Getting my point? So this is the first case. The second case could be the product sentiment analysis. So when we are talking about product sentiment analysis, it is a very sought to be research. So many research works have been carried out by sentiment analysis. So Stanford offers an open source sentiment analyzer library that can be used for effectively to carry out sentiment analysis. So there is no foolproof algorithm for sentiment analysis actually. That's why I have told many times that we should more focus on the algorithms. Some algorithms should be made. Fine, and that algorithm can be made and implemented in Java only, not to worry. Fine. So there is no foolproof algorithm of sentiment analysis, as NLP algorithm stumble on accurately identifying sarcastic comments. Fine. So for this prototype, we have used the most primitive type of sentiment analytic method of finding the relative count or positive or negative sentiment, or holding words in the tweet. So many examples are there. So a large collection of over 5,000 words like good, like amazing, like terrific. Fine. So these are the commonly used express positive sentiment are compiled in a text file to be used as a lookup table. You remember lookup table when we are using router also, there was a router table. Everything was updating whatever we are doing. Fine. So a counter is basically same is done for the negative words also, what we have done for positive words. So a counter is initialized to 0, just like a C programming we are doing, or C++ programming we are doing. So assuming the neutral sentiment, and for each word of the tweet, comparison is done with set of positive word and negative word. That's what I'm trying to say. Positive sentiments, negative sentiments. Sentiment analysis feature: negation, positive smiley, negative smiley. Fine. So in the world of associated with positive sentiments, counter is incremented, or if negative, the counter is decremented. Getting my point? This is the case study. And the sign of the final counter value determines whether the product is associated with positive, negative, or neutral sentiments, as shown in the slide also. Though the method is very simple, it sounds like simple, it is having obvious drawback and can be replaced with any convenient sentiment analytic algorithm. So now the question arises that how to perform sentiment analysis in real-time system. That's how a faculty has asked how to deploy big data solution. The same thing: set your goals, gather your data, clean your data, analyze and visualize it in real time, and act on your result. This is all we have to do. Nothing to worry. We have to do this only. Fine. So what is the point of using real-time sentiment analysis? So real-time sentiment analysis means to perform something within the deadline. Fine. Big data analytics help the organization to mitigate attack. What will happen if the attack has been done, then you are trying to resolve it? So mitigates attack as they happen by analyzing event log millisecond after they have created. It has just been created and it has just been detected. That's the I mean revolution of big data is. So with only the data sources, the retailer can do simple analysis. So in a similar way, every business thing or every business can be done with intelligence. So to provide an artificial intelligence to the business, that is business intelligence. Fine. Now the last thing is, I don't take much time in the next slide, that is stock market prediction. Fine. That is stock market prediction, how it is getting done. So the stock market process is full of uncertainty. You must agree with me on this, and is affected by many factors. Done. Hence, the stock market prediction is one of the most important exertion in finance, that I have told you that in finance analysis it has been used. Just have a look, not here, in this slide. In this slide. So marketing campaign, financial trading, everything. Fine. So the stock market prediction can be done using big data in a very efficient way. So there are two types of analysis possible for prediction: technical and fundamental. So there are the use cases in which technical and fundamental both are getting used. So in this particular slide, both technical and fundamental analysis are considered. So technical analysis is done using historical data of stock prices by applying machine learning, and fundamental analysis is done using social media data by applying sentiment analysis. What we have already been discussed. Social media data has high impact today than ever. So it can add in predicting the trend of the stock market. Fine. So the method involving collecting news and social media, what Twitter is getting done, not only any kind specific social media, Twitter, Facebook, everything is getting done. So, and extracting sentiment expressed by the individual, how it was, analyzed, how it was getting done. This is a question which we have discussed already, that how it is getting analyzed, how the counter is around 0, and how it is +1, how it is -1. Fine. So the method involves collecting news and social media data and extracting sentiment expressed by any kind of individual. Maybe he would or she would be individual, maybe he would or she would be in an organization. Then the correlation between the sentiments and the stock values are analyzed basically. So the learner model can be used to make future prediction about stock values. Fine. So basically they are using the previous data only. So it can be shown that this method is able to predict the sentiment and stock performance in the, and in recent news and social data, they are closely correlated. Getting my point? So if you are having anything which is related to a stock market prediction and how we are doing it, you can ask me. Apart from me, I am done from my side on this topic, but you can ask me as many as question you want to.
Uh, I think I have a question here.
Yeah, tell me, sir. It's very noisy actually. You just type it. If you are asking me, you just ask me, sir.
There is a question from Uma. She is asking,
Yes, sir.
what is the difference between data mining and data proofing?
Data mining and
Data proofing.
data proofing.
Yeah.
Spelling. I am not
Uh,
getting data mining and data.
data proofing. PROFILING.
Okay, profiling. Data profiling, I guess.
மாத்தி சொல்லிட்டேனா?
Okay. So suppose what is difference between data mining and what is difference between big data? First of all, the question is that. So am I able to get the answer?
Abhishek, once again.
What is difference between data mining and big data? Then we will come on to profiling and everything. This is a very simple question.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Mhm.
So another one question, sir. Is there
See,
any?
the Uma ma'am has asked this question, sir.
Yes, yes, Uma ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. So Uma ma'am, data profiling is just transfer of data. So there is a lot of difference. I mean, when we are talking about data profiling, it is, I mean, transferring the data from one system to another. It is also using the same process, that ETL, and ETL has been used by data mining to data mining process also. That is one of the similarity. But data profiling is completely different. I mean, there is no threaded line difference in that. It is completely different from data mining, because data mining is having many things like classification, clustering, regression, association rule, I mean, many things. But data profiling, if you are talking about, it is just about to transfer the data from one mode to other. Fine. So it can detect data quality while transferring it. It is working on the data quality. So basically it works on that level where data pre-processing and data transfer is getting done, ma'am. Data transformation, data compatibility made. So this is data profiling technique is all about, ma'am. Making it sampled, making it quantized data, making it the content should be good enough, the relationship should be clear enough to get the data on any website. For example, we are talking about platform independent thing. So Java bytecode is there, so we can able to run it on any Linux or anything like that. So these kind of responsibilities on data profiling tools and technique, ma'am. Data mining is simply extracting the right information, or extracting the or predicting the things, or classification of things, or getting the right data out of it. Am I okay I mean, is the answer is fine to you, ma'am, or anything else you want to ask?
Yes, I think she's there. Okay, sir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Another question from Kalpana ma'am.
Yeah,
Is there
please.
any possibility to generate a unique ID to
Mm-hmm.
each record of data frame?
Unique ID.
For to each record of data frame.
Yeah, it is possible, but for example, you are doing it in Python, so you have to make, I mean, function code for that. Because actually, I have not done that, but it is possible. I have gone through with many papers regarding that, sir. So they have done it. Whenever you are trying to make your own algorithm, or you're trying to approach your own algorithm, you are it is mandate to go for that. What ma'am is asking for, Kalpana ma'am is asking for. We have to do that for sure.
Okay, Abhishek.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the faculty members? You can use the chat box and. Oh, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Abhishek, there is no other questions here. No,
Okay.
another one from Kalpana, ma'am. We can
Okay.
use monotonically increase ID in with column if I am right. Uh, I think Abhishek, if you want to see this chat window so that you can easily find it out.
We can use monotonically increasing ID in with column. Yes, yes, yes. It is monotonic in order. Yes, right from one plus one plus one, like one, two, three, and just like this. So it is very much right, ma'am. You can do it like this.
Okay. Any other questions for the faculties? No. Yeah, no, Abhishek.
Okay. So we are supposed to finish graph analytics in the next phase. So let's have a break of 5 to 10 minutes. Then we will join again if you're okay with it. Or we should continue it. Whatever you will say, we will do it. Audible, sir? Am I audible?
Yes, audible, Abhishek. Sorry, I was in the
So
mute.
not an issue, not an issue. So can we start the next topic in I mean in some time, in
Yeah,
10 minutes maybe?
yeah. 3:45.
uh,
3:45, shall we?
yeah, 3:45 is fine to me,
Fine.
not an
Yeah, yeah,
issue.
yeah.
Done,
I'll
sir.
ask the other participants also.
Yeah,
Now we need a group photo.
yeah,
Abhishek, will it possible to switch on the camera? I also
yeah,
ask
yeah,
the
yeah,
other
sure, sir.
participants also. Participants,
Yeah,
kindly switch on your cameras so that as per our Anna University's rules, each and every sessions we need a group of photographs for attending the participants. So I
actually I was
request.
waiting for it only.
Yeah, okay, okay,
Okay,
Abhishek. So I
okay.
request the faculty members to kindly switch on your camera so that we can have a group photo, please.
Just wait for a minute, sir. I'm doing it. Visible to you, sir? Done, sir.
Abhishek, you are okay. Yeah, now it's
Okay,
okay, Abhishek. Yeah,
okay,
you are
sir.
no. But only thing is that I think sharing, if you stop the sharing, so that it will be easy, I think so. Still, it is in the sharing mode only.
So I should stop sharing, sir.
Yeah, yeah, right. Now it's okay.
Okay,
Now it's okay.
okay, sir. Okay.
Others also, please. Malini ma'am, Merlin, Annie. I request other faculty also. Yeah, thank you, Ram Prasad. I request the other faculty also just 2 minutes of time to take a snapshot. It's I know it
Okay
is
for
very
me.
difficult because it is a sudden one.
No, 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 not an issue. Yeah.
Kalpana ma'am, please ma'am.
Yes. Is it okay, sir?
I have not yet seen your no, photo. Ramani ma'am,
Visualized.
okay. Yeah,
Is it now okay?
wait ma'am, I'll
No?
just check it out.
Yes, sir.
No ma'am, I think still
Uh,
uh, I cannot see your face ma'am.
okay, sir.
Yeah,
I see. I have to switch on that video, like that
yeah
button
ma'am,
must
just a start video, that's all ma'am.
start my video, right?
Yeah, yes ma'am.
Is it now okay? Is
Now
it
okay
now?
ma'am. Yeah, yeah, yes ma'am. Now it's okay.
Yes. Yes.
Kalpana ma'am, it's okay. Abhishek, just, other participants also, please. Dinesh, Kaliappan sir. So please.
தினேஷ் இருக்காராங்க, வீடியோ மட்டும் ஆன் பண்ண சொல்லுமா. போட்டோ செஷன் வீடியோ மட்டும் ஆன் பண்ண சொல்லு.
Sorry, it is not prepared earlier, madam. It's a sudden thing because Anna University is asking just a group snap for every session. So that's what the formalities. Otherwise, it is. Revati madam, Ramani madam, please, so that we can finish the session and have a small break and come back. Okay. Then okay, sir. I will take a snapshot with the persons which we have, and then for the next tomorrow onwards, please have a idea that afternoon we'll be having a photo session, and evening also we'll be having a photo session. Okay, this end of the session. Okay. Thank you. I have taken the snapshot. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Abhishek.
Thank you, everyone.
Now
Thank you,
it is
Sir,
3.
the feedback link is we didn't get, sir, yesterday.
Yeah. Today, next session also, Sir is only going to handle. So that's why I have not shared it. So after the completion of next session, we'll be sharing both yesterday's and today's link also. Both. Okay,
Sure,
no need
sir.
to panic.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, thank you,
you.
Abhishek. We'll have
Thank you, sir.
at 3:50, 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Like
done.
already.
Done.
Okay,
Sure.
okay.
Take
Thank
care.
you, Abhishek.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, take care. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. We'll wait for another. We'll share once again. Rejoin at 3:50.